Welcome back to Listen Up. I gotta, I gotta get used to leading off all these videos. I'm so used to you doing it all the time for
Man, I got
past,
nervous there for a second. I heard
past,
silence.
the past 2 or 3 years. But welcome back to Listen Up. We're ready now. Last check-in versus Tennessee. Couple quick turnarounds for the UConn Huskies as we get closer and closer to that all-important month. But Tennessee Lady Vols, pretty important stretch here for the UConn Huskies these next 3 or 4 games. Tennessee comes in this game pretty hot. They've won 9 straight. Started off the season ranked in the top 5 at number 5 in the AP poll. They would then lose to quite a bit of teams: Ohio State, Indiana, UCLA, Gonzaga, Virginia Tech, and Stanford. All of those teams are ranked in the top 25. So Tennessee hasn't had the easiest of schedules this season. Kelly Harper, their head coach, has had to follow in the footsteps of the great Pat Summitt, who won 8 national championships while coaching the Lady Vols. Holly Warlick coached the Vols for 7 seasons, and now it's up to Kelly Harper to rise up to Tennessee's highest standards. This is a very historic rivalry between these two teams, the Vols and the Huskies. UConn's beaten Tennessee 4 out of 4 times in the national championship game. And Gino compared this rivalry to Duke and North Carolina and men's basketball. So a lot of people around UConn and Tennessee, all the players and coaches know how important this rivalry is and this game. But Tennessee this year, the team has a little different feel to it. Currently unranked, sitting at 16-6. Leaders of this team are Rakia Jackson from Mississippi State and senior guard Jordan Horston. Now, Horston missed her last game on Sunday with an illness. I know you said their coach said she was questionable for
Yeah,
this
I
game.
watched.
So
I didn't get the chance to watch it all, but I saw Kelly Harper's interview a couple of days ago, maybe, and right in the beginning, one of the people in the crowd or in the audience, whatever you want to call it, one of the, I guess the writers, sports writers, they asked her specifically if, I guess, if Jordan Horston would actually her availability for practice, and I don't even know if she practiced, to be honest with you.
yeah, so I mean, hopefully for the Lady Vols that she will be available because she's one of the leaders for this team. But joining them in the starting lineup should be senior Jordan Walker, junior Tess Darby, and senior Jasmine Powell. 6'6" center Tamari Key, also another player to watch for Tennessee. But this team has struggled a little bit to start the year, but they've really picked it back up in conference play so far. Like I mentioned, undefeated, a home game for Tennessee, but UConn's a very tough opponent. This should be an interesting game to watch. I want to see if Tennessee's up for the challenge that UConn presents. And unfortunately, AZ Flood won't play in this game, obviously, with her knee injury. But last year, I know a lot of you guys probably remember this game. She scored 25. It was her breakout game, one of her best games of the year as a freshman. But honestly, I think UConn's going to be fine. I want to see them continue to be aggressive, make smart decisions, and continue to play lockdown defense.
Yeah, very well said. And I think it is very important for obviously the defense to keep up with the Tennessee offense. Not only that, Ryan, but keep your eye on Dorka. Two big players right here, Dorka and Aaliyah Edwards, because we talk about how they attack down and in against these basketball teams. I think that's where Tennessee may, I mean, they're a strong team, don't get me wrong, but they may just lack that ability to stop them down in the paint because we saw that what and along this 11-game winning streak now for UConn, we've seen a lot of teams they just can't contain, especially Aaliyah Edwards.
Yeah, and Aaliyah, I say it almost every time I feel like I get on the podcast, but the year that she's having is obviously unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of the same thing every game is just kind of let the bigs down low for UConn do their thing. Nika, she's been struggling a little bit, like I keep on saying. So hopefully she can just continue to progress and kind of get out of the little slump that she's been. But Aubrey Griffin is playing great. I really like how all the bench players are playing right now. I want to see Gino continue to put them in, Amari, Ayana, and Ines. But yeah, I mean, I think this will be a pretty interesting game on ESPN. I think game day will be down there for this game, so it should be a pretty fun game to watch.
Big rival game. You're right about that. Let's get over to comments presented by Dempsey's and Sportsland from the last video. UConn Huskies demolish Blue Demons. They came through very well again, Ryan. And we'll go with Jason D'Amico. Always love to start with him leading it off. I would love to be part of the podcast. Name and time and space. The Tennessee game is going to be an interesting battle that I'm very much looking forward to. It will be a good baseline to see where this UConn team is really at. P.S. When Lou told Morrow to frack off, I literally jumped off my couch and started giving her air kisses like Pepe Le Pew. I saw a whole new side of Lou that I really liked. This UConn team will not be intimidated, and I love it. Yeah. And well, Pete, I got to make sure because this is trademark. Peace, fellas. So I got to make sure I say that. He brought up a good point because, no matter where this road ends, man, with the amount of injuries and the stress and I guess if you want to say the how tired they are, especially what they point out Caroline Ducharme yawning all the time now on the bench. I'm not going to go as far as some people what they said about her not being interested in the game. I mean, I get up out of bed, Ryan. I yawn from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I yawn all day, So I don't, if she wants to yawn, let the kid yawn. But I'm just saying that, look, this team, no matter who, and I can't wait to see it against South Carolina. I know I should be paying attention to all the other teams they go against, and I try my best, but especially when it comes to backing down, UConn, man, they I wouldn't want to play them right now, especially if they would have more players off of that bench back, because not only some of them people out there, the naysayers, well, they don't have the size, they don't have this, they don't have that, but they got the heart, and I'm starting to actually see that. I'm guilty. I should have saw that months and months ago. But this team here, man, they're not afraid. They're not afraid.
No, they're not. And like we keep on saying, that they're always going to be ready and come to play for every single game. And I think Jason made a good point about, this is kind of a check-in to see where UConn really is, because obviously earlier in the season, they played a lot of non-conference opponents, lost 2 of those games. They played a lot of tough teams and did fairly well with them. But lately it's been all conference teams. Obviously, they've rolled through pretty much all the conference teams so far undefeated, but another non-conference opponent in Tennessee. So it should be a nice little warm-up game to, I think, the big one that's coming, and obviously South Carolina. So it should be a good game to see where UConn's really at, and hopefully they can keep on rolling.
This would be a good stretch too to bring on subscribers after these stretch of games. Only because we talked about, this is the very in our opinions, and I think everybody else agrees, a tough part of the schedule. And this is really, I think this will determine how far they go in March because they face some very tough teams coming up. So, and that takes me to Marcia Clark goes, I'm ready to give my 2 cents. I'll show my face and back up my typing. Let me know, Phil and Ride. Great team win for this team. Ryan, it looks like I'm going to have to start putting together a list tomorrow as far as names. Guys, stay tuned for that, because Ryan, especially when this heart of the schedule, regular season schedule is over in about another week or 2, we should really start saying, all right, you're up, let's go.
Yeah, that'll be really exciting. That'll be a whole brand new series we're gonna bring to the channel. So that'll definitely be really interesting, possibly during the off season to get you guys on. That should be really exciting.
To get you all involved, it's nothing like it, man. We love to reach out to you all. How about let's get into one more longer comment, Ryan. Rick Massey broke it down very well. How good will the team be if we had Paige, Azzi, Ducharme, and Brady? These 4 are no doubt great players, but my question is, how would they play as a team? I saw this morning when I woke up. I really liked this comment. The present group of players seem to be playing together really well. If you're going to bring in one of the injured players whose minutes are you going to limit? Griffins, Nikas, Lowe's, or Dorcas? Referring to this year's group of players, if you had Paige and Azzi in there, would they score more than 90 points a game or play better defense? I'm not saying Paige and Azzi are not great players. I was very discouraged when I heard Paige was out for the season. What I'm saying is this group of players have a special chemistry and are playing very well together. And when Paige and AZ return, we won't have Dorka or Lou. Limiting the minutes on Griffin and Nika has an impact. How much better of a team will it be? I to be honest with you, before you get into that one, I don't think it's going to be a problem myself. I really don't, because if you really, I know this is kind of biased, maybe like, well, there's always somebody out there better than you. But Ryan, this is the school. This is a school for women's basketball. I mean, with all the talent, I'm sure, and you talk about the coaching staff. I don't see where if you add talent on top of talent, it's just hard for me to. He might be right, Rick Massey, but it's hard for me to believe that anything just takes a turn where it just goes out of the blue, just an extraordinary, unimaginable season that talking even missing March. I don't see anything like that, man. I think they can only get better. Talking on 23-24 because I'm high on that.
Well, definitely. I would certainly not think so in the UConn Huskies program, but it definitely is a very interesting point. It's kind of a different way to look at things. But I mean, obviously, when AZ, hopefully when she's ready to come back, obviously she's going to be in the starting lineup, I would assume. But I mean, I think Aubrey Griffin is a player that can come off of the bench and do just as well as she's doing in the starting lineup. She kind of reminds me of Avina Westbrook a little bit, but just kind of the athlete both of those players are. So I think Aubrey is a good player to that she can just move around wherever. I think Gino really trusts her. All the players love her, I'm sure, and she's been really a crucial player to this team. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to affect the team of how they play and their chemistry in any way at all. I think when AZ comes back, it'll just be another positive, and hopefully when Caroline comes back as well.
You reminded me. I'm glad you did score predictions very quickly. Then we'll head to bed because we got a long day, Ryan, and then a long night because this game doesn't start till 8 o'clock. So we will have a long time to wait before a game recap. But we promise we'll be back here tomorrow night very late. Ryan, oh boy, I'm talking about a very talented Tennessee team, but UConn is just that much better. I'm going 84 to 74. 84-74, UConn over Tennessee. I think that you see Tennessee break apart that defense just a little bit more than some other teams have during this long winning streak.
Yeah, and hopefully UConn can, limit the turnovers like we keep on
Yeah.
seeing it. And I really want to see Lou and all the other players be really aggressive and get that energy up.
Yeah.
I know Nika does a great job of getting all the players going. I'm going to go 77-60 in favor of the UConn Huskies in this one.
Ryan, Tennessee. Here they go. It's Phil and Rye, and we will be back, Ryan, approximately, I'd say a little over 24 hours. I will see your face again. I appreciate you checking in, and you have a safe night.